Alright, this is basic priest deck versus heroic Gluth. I'd say this deck has a pretty, oh, I don't know how high the win rate is, but if you just reset it until you get the combo I'm about to talk about, it'd be a extremely high win rate. So I'll just go ahead and show you the combo and you'll see why. So here's the deck list, which I'll also have posted in the video, but essentially all you have is creatures to like wipe his field well, like Bluegill Warrior, um, Loot Horder, Murloc Tidehunter, just kind of like almost like a zoo deck um, for creatures. And I don't really think this part matters too much. And then you have some AoE, which does matter. You want like Holy Nova, Circle of Healing, um, Akanai Priest, of course, to make that all work. Uh, and just ways to blow up the entire field. Like Abominations could potentially be in here. And then you just want to Mind Vision or Thoughtsteal his weapon, which is called Jaws. And he plays all Death Rattle cards, and you just kill all his Death Rattles. Your Jaws goes up to crazy damage, and about 70% of the Death Rattles he plays are those guys that heal you for 5, so your health goes up basically to full. And then you whack him in the face and heal yourself whenever he plays stuff and keep hitting him. There's definitely ways to improve this deck, like Sun Fury would be really, really good in this deck because it's a low drop, but it'd also give your guys taunt, so it would give you more stall time to draw Mind Vision or Thoughtsteal. And then possibly that card that takes 1 off the attack when it's played of a weapon could be okay, but that's not really that amazing. And then also that card, Harrison Jones, if you had it. But this is a basic priest deck, so it really doesn't have those cards. Anyway, I'll go and show you the match. It's really quick and really just ridiculous. So just play until you get a Thoughtsteal in your opening hand. And honestly, I didn't actually realize how amazing that Thoughtsteal was going to be immediately. So I'm really happy to get an Acidic Swamp Ooze here, because the vast majority of his damage comes from that weapon. And this Shadow Word Pain is just really amazing because it makes this Holy Nova so good. So if I like Shadow Word Pain on turn 4, then turn 5 I could Holy Nova and wipe the field. And this just plays you just have to play it, just saves you a bunch of health. And if he doesn't have another weapon in his hand, it would save you a ton of health, which it looks like this turn he didn't have one or he didn't play it. Here's where you need to get lucky. I don't know how lucky this is, though. Like, this really would determine the win percent of the deck, is how lucky is it to Thoughtsteal into that weapon, Jaws. If he has a ton of Jaws in his deck, then maybe it's not really that hard to get it. It reminds me of my first strategy on a Patchwork, which was to Mind Vision his weapon when it went back to his hand, which I did, but I just couldn't live and kill him with it, which kind of sucked because it would have been fun. So this is just disgusting right here, what happens. So I'm really just basking just how ridiculous this is, because I didn't watch any videos or anything like that. I watched them since then, and this is a really common strategy, I noticed. But initially just thinking about just how ridiculous this is going to be, I was just like, just bracing myself for the epicness of this. And it really made me wonder how other classes beat him, so I could think of another way to beat him would be to run the Stoneskin Gargoyle and buff it up like crazy and give it taunt, because he doesn't really destroy creatures. He just relies on his creatures to attack you and his weapons. So if you could live through those attacks with a very like high defense stone skill gargoyle, you would eventually just win. And this is just absurd. You know, I'm getting healed basically to full health. I have a 13/5 weapon. So here I'm deciding just the best way to deal with this card, and if I should drop that and attack it with my weapon, and then attack is 1/2, or how do I want to play it? But I also realize I've basically won regardless what I do, so. And then I just take like a step back. I'm like, hey, do I actually want to heal him? I think I definitely should have just played that 2/3. It doesn't even matter if he somehow kills it and gets a heal off, so. But I guess this works out pretty well too. I either could have Holy Nova'd here and attack with my 2/1, or just attack with that charge. I think I'm dropping this to buff my weapon up, so that my weapon will do more damage. 2/3, I definitely shouldn't drop him until after I trigger all of this. I probably just realized that, like, why am I dropping this guy? Yeah, initially this boss was pretty discouraging. I didn't have any idea, like, how I was gonna take him out. But once you mind vision and take his weapon, it's just like, yeah, this is super, super easy. I'm just looking at if I do the 1 there, then I can Holy Nova and just wipe the fields. Because he'll trigger for 1 damage, so it'll do 3 damage to everything. And get healed to full health. I think I'm just laughing at just how ridiculous the situation is. Just unlimited heals, ridiculous damage. I kind of wanted to play something just so I can kill it and get that thing a little higher. Jaws versus Jaws. So yeah, the deck combo is just really, really simple. Acidic Swamp Ooze to slow him down. Some good value taunt creatures could also slow him down. Some Zerg creatures just to help you blow up his fields. And yeah, try to Mind Vision, Thoughtsteal. One of these, and it's a good game. So, shouldn't take you too many attempts to pull that off.